You ever noticed how some generations grab all the headlines, while others quietly keep the world running? Boomers, well, they left a few bills behind. Millennials, they turned practically everything into a trend. Gen Z can't seem to look up from their phones. But right in the middle, there's a generation almost nobody talks about. Generation X. The quiet ones. The people who got things done without making a scene, raised themselves when nobody was watching, and quietly shaped the world while everyone else argued. Raised alone, made to survive. That's not just a clever line, it's reality. And in the first few seconds, you already know, this is a generation forged by independence, resilience, and self-reliance. Imagine being 8 years old in 1978. The school bus drops you off, and the house is empty. No parents, no babysitter, no one to call. You reach for the key hanging on a shoelace around your neck, let yourself in, pour a bowl of cereal, and just wait. By the early 1980s, millions of kids lived like this regularly. They were latchkey kids. Unlike children today with iPads, Alexa, and constant check-ins, Gen X had no safety net. Every decision mattered. Every mistake was theirs alone to face. That early independence rewired their brains. They learned to anticipate problems, think several steps ahead, and act without anyone guiding them. Ever wonder why the quiet ones in your office always seem to have it together? Now you know. Independence, however, was only the part of the story. Trust, or the lack of it, was another lesson they learned young. They watched parents preach loyalty, honesty, and doing the right thing, while life delivered the opposite: divorces, layoffs, and economic instability. Hope for the best, plan for the worst, became an unspoken mantra. Life was unpredictable, and Gen X learned that early. Social media? To them, it's flashing your weaknesses for everyone to see. They observe, analyze, and strategize, but they don't broadcast their lives. They've survived without anyone saving them, and that instinct for privacy carries through adulthood. Ever notice that quiet coworker who never overshares online? That's exactly why.
Everything's a joke. Nothing is taken too seriously. From practicing nuclear fallout drills in elementary school while teachers calmly assured them everything's fine, to watching adults navigate a world full of contradictions, Gen X learned to laugh so they wouldn't break. Humor became armor. It was a way to survive chaos without losing themselves. And that ironic detachment carried into adulthood, shaping not just personality, but work ethic. They became the coworkers who quietly fixed broken systems, solved problems others avoided, and consistently delivered results without anyone noticing. They don't ask for recognition. They just get it done. Ever had a coworker like this? Now you know why. Their work ethic was forged through experience, not applause. Think about those early jobs, paper routes before dawn, where you were responsible for delivering hundreds of newspapers, fast food registers with no calculators, forcing you to count change in your head, or bagging groceries while balancing a cash drawer. These weren't resume builders, they were survival training. Every task demanded focus, accountability, and problem solving at an age when most kids today are heavily supervised. Could you handle this at age 12? Most Gen Xers did. And those early lessons carried forward. Independence became competence, responsibility became instinct, and accountability became pride. Yet it wasn't all grit and labor. It was also the paradox of isolation. Being alone taught them to rely on themselves, but it also forged deep, meaningful bonds. Friends became family. Emotional loyalty was essential, not optional. They observed adults making promises they couldn't keep, institutions that failed them, and systems that betrayed trust. That taught them a subtle yet profound lesson. Protect yourself, but honor those who matter. That same loyalty and discernment carried into adulthood, quietly shaping careers, friendships, and parenting choices.
All of this combined gives Generation X a fascinating psychological profile. They are independent, yet quietly collaborative, skeptical, yet highly competent, private, yet deeply loyal. They think ahead, anticipate challenges, and rarely need validation to act. Raised alone, made to survive. It's not just a line, it's a lens to understand their worldview. They are the people behind the systems, the coworkers who quietly take responsibility, and the parents who raised children without needing applause. While other generations seek attention or validation, Gen X quietly keeps the world running. And now, understanding them gives you insight into the invisible backbone of modern society. Next time you notice a quiet coworker getting it done, or see someone handling a crisis with calm efficiency, remember this. The traits you're witnessing were forged long before social media, before helicopter parenting, before instant Google answers. They learned to survive alone, to solve problems early, and to carry the lessons forward without needing anyone to applaud them. That's why they are the generation who quietly holds it together. Raised alone, made to survive, and still shaping the world in ways most people barely notice.